this book coming out right now, obviously Father's Day.
Right.
What's this book about? What do you want people to know about this journey of yours, Omar?
It's kind of a memoir about my life. It's chronicling my journey, having grown up without a father and then becoming a father. And it came from a real moment that I had with my son one day that caused me to reflect on my life. And I had a question: did somehow growing up fatherless, did that creep into my fatherhood? You know, and it was kind of a startling thought. And then I began this journey of just reflecting, and then the stories started pouring out.
What do you mean by that question?
Well, I mean, I've, done okay for myself in this life, and I'm taking care of my family and all those things. But, sometimes we have our tough days and we're tired, or we just want to chill out. And, sometimes we can overlook our children in that way. Like sometimes I think people think their presence is the present to their kids. And it's like, nah, with kids, you got to be active.
You do.
You know what I mean? It's about activation.
I totally hear you, Omar, where there are times where, I'm tired. My wife, we are so tired. We have 3 kids under the age of 10.
Oh, man.
We are so tired.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just want to come home and just hang,
right,
not do anything. And then my kids would come up and say, Dad, do you want to play ball? And I'm like thinking to myself, deep down, no chance. I just,
right.
I mean, very honest.
Right.
No way. I don't want to get up. I don't want to do that. I want to do that. But then I think to myself, of course I've got to get up and play ball here and then get into it and be present in that regard.
Right.
Put my phone down, which is tough sometimes.
Right.
Certainly in this 21st century.
Yes.
And make sure that my kids don't know I'm having this inner monologue either.
Right. Right.
So I hear you, but I also had a dad growing up. I wonder where the fatherlessness comes into play for you, Omar.
Well, it's for me, it's having had certain moments and thoughts like that I don't have a barometer, so to say. I had great father figures coming up in my life Marlon Wayans' father was one of them. My other best friend, Mitchell Marchand, his Uncle Bob was one of them. Just, but I didn't have that blueprint at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so, become a man and start having children of your own. It's like, you can read all the books that you want, but if you don't have that hands-on experience, I was wondering, was I missing certain things?
Because you didn't have that presence
constantly,
in your life.
in my household growing up. I didn't have that sort of, okay, you move like this, here's the blueprint. I'm just sort of figuring it out as I'm going.
Omar Epps here on the Rich Eisen Show, From Fatherless to Fatherhood. Check it out, again, where books are sold. And you're going to be signing this Saturday at the Grove here in Los Angeles, 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Pacific
at the
time
Grove,
out here.
Yeah.
Okay. I never forget the time hanging out with Dion and him saying to me that the first time he ever saw another grown man shave was when he was in college.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my reaction too. And there's so many athletes that we see that we look up to and we don't know what's going on between the temples.
Right.
Did not have a father figure. How do you think that manifests itself for these athletes as they go about their business, Omar?
I mean, it's a great question, I think, in probably some of the ways that it did for me. I mean, one thing I can say, my mom is amazing. She is my superhero, my superwoman.
How many siblings do you have?
Well, actually, I'm my mother's only child.
Okay.
I had a little sister from my father's side.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom's amazing. I wouldn't be here without her. But, you just, again, learning how to shave, learning how to defend yourself, or, throwing around the ball in the park, all those things that you just sort of miss. It can manifest itself in different ways, but I think the key is to, especially if you're working hard and you're getting somewhere in your life, you have to figure out that work for yourself, and especially ideally before you start a family. At least, you have to be able to look at yourself in third person, see your strengths, see your weaknesses, so you can do the work on both.
And it took you 3 years to write this?
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
About 3 years, yeah.
And you self-published it?
Self-published, yep.
Man.
Yep. I'm trying, Rich.
I mean, no, that's impressive. I mean, did you knocked on doors of publishers and they were like, okay, or
I'll be, Because we're here, we always keep it real.
We do.
Yeah. No, I did. I went. I wanted to self-publish from the beginning. My team was like, hey, you know, you should do the rounds. I did the rounds. I had a deal on the table, which I was very humbled by. But the business made no sense whatsoever to me. Like, the business of it, I was like, whoa, you know, there's no negotiating. You want to, you know.
Like, here's your advance, go write it.
Yeah, and here's the split, and here's the royalties. And I was like, hey, guys, you know, I can go market myself. Like, we're not starting like at zero here.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of think like that. You know, obviously the publishing business is, you know, I think it's still thriving, but I guess in how you deliver it is sort of. I kind of look at it like it's the publishing business is where the music business was post Napster, but pre iTunes. You know, like it's, you know, because you can print on demand, you can self-publish. You just got to get the word out.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.